Aquaman The Becoming, issue number 2. This is the only solo Aquaman title right now. He's got his Green Arrow book. This isn't about Arthur, though. This Aquaman is all about Jackson Hyde, the Aqua Lad. He is coming up on his own now to take over the mantle of Aquaman because Arthur, like a lot of characters in modern comic books, is looking to retire so we can legacy him off. And then when the movie character gets old, we can get the younger one in. Yeah, and it's just an endless cycle of that. And it's okay. So I liked the first issue of this book. I thought it was very strong. It was interesting to see Jackson be taken seriously because it's something I think a lot of fans have been waiting for a very long time with the character. That being said, I think this issue was it didn't sell me on this book going forward the way I wanted it to. First off, they teased this as the Jackson Hyde book. This issue is dedicated to Mera, which is not a bad thing because there's an underlying theme in this book that we'll get into that I think invokes why Mera is a central character in it. And I just think after reading the Green Arrow Aquaman Deep Target book, I get why Brandon Thomas is kind of spearheading the Aquaman initiative right now. I just don't know if the direction it's going is everything I wanted it to be. This book just didn't capture that magic that the first issue did. It played with some themes that I think work for Aquaman, but it doesn't really invoke a confidence that I'm hoping to see from a Jackson Hyde title, which kind of sucks. So we do open it up again. Jackson was attacked by the Atlantean guards. He's trying to evade them. He's pretty much just on the run from his life, but they are seriously hurting him. They're pretty much breaking him and they're stabbing him and he's bleeding out, so he's trying to run away. Then later we see Mera lying in bed. Some of the police officers, I'm just going to call them police officers, they're Atlantean Royal Guards. The officers show up to talk to Mera, basically like, we know that this guy who's kind of a fugitive now likes to hang out with you because you people are all the same. You're from Zebel. And that's kind of the theme of this book is it's funny to me because it's obviously something that would be explored if you look at Atlantis as a type of humanity in a sense. There would be racism. So it's like you have an angry cop here who thinks people from Zebel are all like cold-hearted, spineless people who betray you at every turn. And I'm just like, that's lazy, but I get it. It's so obvious, and maybe that's the part of this book I don't like. It's that Mera has been your queen pretty much throughout most of her history, right? And now the fact that her heritage comes up in this scene when she's known these men for so long kind of affects how I think this is being treated. It feels very like these characters are just existing now as opposed to having their lineage, which kind of sucks. So, the cops are just like interrogating her. She's holding on to her child and basically they're just insulting her like, you'd help this boy, you know him, Arthur loves him. And she's kind of like, yeah, well, he's not Arthur and I'm not Arthur. You should treat me with respect. I was your queen and I am high royalty, so try to show some respect behind that name the way you throw it around. They don't treat her like that, but she's able, in the classic Mera way, to get the one-up over them, and she does leave the conversation. And as they kind of exit the interrogation room just to kind of think what she's talking about and do what she does slip a comm onto one of the guys so she hears everything they're saying, and it's just more racist stuff, which, yeah, it's just like this, we'll kill the half-breed and we'll capture him, and I'm like, yeah, okay, relax. And it's an interesting area to explore with Jackson because his mother is from Zebel, his father is Black Manta. Playing with the outlaw kind of outside the box choice for him, making him the outsider to Atlantis, I get it. That's kind of like Arthur. Arthur was the half-breed too. I think that's interesting that Zebel is the cause that makes it bad for the race, but when it's Arthur, it's okay. You could look that as Zebel or the color of his skin as to why these people are treating him that way, but whatever. Then we cut back to a scene a couple minutes before the police showed up to get Mera. Basically, she hears Jackson come in, so she did help Jackson escape. And she says, like, well, come with me. I've seen these marks before, what's hitting you and why you're burned like this and all of that. It does look like it's something from Zebel, so maybe there's these people from Zebel who don't like certain aspects of these people deserting, so she does help him escape. She gives him like a Justice League card and a gun. Jackson is able to escape and survive. And then the previous events we talked about, those are what happened. So Jackson swims up to the surface, he gets on a boat and kind of goes away. Then we cut back to the interrogation scene. They're still getting mad at Mera. which is okay. But we see in Amnesty Bay that Jackson's mother actually gets picked up by some Atlantean guards. Lucia gets picked up, so they're just kind of like carrying her away, but she's more worried about her son than actually having some like concern with everything about this. And she sees like this speedster just like tracing them and watching them from the sidelines. She thinks it's like something that'll help them out, so she breaks from the ship and goes to find them. And I think it's cool, you know? It's pretty interesting. It does set up this kind of thing, which I don't know if it's perfect, that these people from Xebel are kind of being hurt by their own people, or that they're just like these monstrous betrayers. But it makes sense for some reason, but I don't know if I love it. So yeah, we see that they plant false evidence, these cops do, to make it look like Jackson set up the bomb that blew everything up. And since baby Andy says his name, Jackson, they're like, oh, well, that's all the evidence we need for this thing we clearly forged. So Mera hears them again talking in the other room, and she leaves to go figure out how to like stop all this from happening. Where does she go? Well, she heads up to the surface in a really nice car. She's got like a mask and goggles on. We see little Andy in the sidecar, and she's going to go find everyone else who is living in Amnesty Bay. That's a Xebel. So this is kind of I kind of like this angle. It's not perfectly executed, but I think I understand the message that Brandon Thompson's trying to say more so than I like the execution of it. So basically, she goes to just, I guess, like this halfway house, or like this home, in a sense, for, you know, these people who left Xebel and left the seas to come live on land. She comes to find Lucia, and she's looking at all this like weaponry in this armory room, where she is just like, well, somebody attacked my son. It was probably somebody from Xebel. We have to figure out what all that is. And Mera's trying to calm her down. Like, look, Jackson is a tough kid. He is strong. He is capable. He has been through enough, and he can survive this too. As much as he is his mother's son, he is also his father's. And we just see Jackson lying on a boat with a med kit, literally bleeding out, about to die. And again, Jackson's in maybe like 7 pages of this book. It's not a Jackson story. This is a Mera story about racism in Atlantis, when these people have known her for so long, but now that Arthur's not there to protect her, it's kind of like bubbling up for these cops, which it's good. Like, I think that is a really interesting concept. The problem is the execution just doesn't feel earned or there yet. It's getting there, and I think with the next couple of issues, we explore that topic more. The kind of distance between, or maybe even like just the race allegations and this concept of like Xebel and Atlantean heritage and hating each other. If we explore that concept more in further issues of this book, that could be something fun to see. But I just don't know if this issue really justified doing that story and going that route. It's cool. The artwork is sharp and the colors are very vibrant. I do like the way Mera looks in this book, and I think Jackson has earned the chance to lead his own book, and just kind of like maybe filling out his world a little bit by showing Mera as a part of it and his mother's a part of it. Kind of taking him away from Arthur and a Black Manta is a good thing. Putting him next to strong women is a good thing. But something about this just wasn't perfectly put on paper. And I think it can get there, but it sadly just missed the mark a little bit too much. So we'll have to wait and see if it picks up. But as it stands, it's a fun read, an interesting concept. It's a little wordy and just a little too, that's not the best way to put stuff. So it's fine, and I do recommend checking it out because I'd like to see Jackson get more books and more series led by himself, because he's a fun character. So Aquaman, The Becoming, issue number 2. I'm going to give a 6 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.